It's the right to the, yeah, more. Okay, more. Lal, we've got another one. And we haven't done a Jaguar for a while.
Yeah.
This is an I-PACE. A beautiful I-PACE right here. This is going to be interesting. You know what? It drives, but it doesn't charge. And another thing, so it has limited drive, 5% driving left. So
Charge.
if we go with the battery all the way down, we're going to have another problem.
Need to charge the battery.
We need, well, it's still 5%, so we are able to drive it. 5%, how many miles will it give? Let me see. Because obviously, even if it goes down to zero, when it goes down to zero, it's still gonna have a bit of juice left. So it says 10 miles left. So thinking about it, looking at it like that, it seems that is all good. However, it is not. Are you ready for the challenge?
Ready.
Let's go. So this car actually doesn't have to be pushed in. Usually those cars, they... Hello again, this is George from OGS Mechanics and OGS Mechanics Hybrid and EV. Here is the place where we fix cars, all type of cars, but mainly we are focusing on electric and hybrid vehicle. Stay close to see interesting repairs translated in videos. 350 volts, that's high voltage. Let's see what the Jaguar has, because it's interesting the fact that it doesn't charge, but it runs, because in theory, if it has an error on the high voltage system which prevents some functionality, which is being the charging, it should also stop the driving, I would say so. But let's see what exactly it is. Ignition is on. We plugged it in, but we haven't scanned it. What is it?
System voltage low, maybe due to
Well,
battery.
that's, yeah. ABS was there? Battery sounder, missing message. Okay, that's fine.
Then interlock circuit open.
Interlock circuit open.
The vehicle is still driving.
Doesn't make sense. So what the error says, interlock. Basically, the way it works on the electric cars, each connector through it flows high voltage, it has this interlock, which is basically like a bridge. So whenever the connector is unplugged, that bridge is open circuit and will prevent the system from operating. And is this permanent?
It's permanent.
It doesn't make sense.
Then one more thing, the motor position sensor invalid.
Incompatible configuration. This error codes: electric power inverter, converter, control module, drive motor A. Drive motor A is the front.
Sir.
Invalid, incompatible configuration. I'm just wondering whether they replaced it.
Maybe
Because it's not saying open circuit, but this might be just software and is also intermittent. But my main concern,
the interlock fault.
interlock. Can you get into the battery to see the stats?
Battery status.
Yeah, the stats of the battery. Okay, so here we have stats about the battery. 62 millivolts.
Snap on, because battery is going down.
Oh, the battery. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the already comes on, but the DC-DC doesn't charge.
Not working.
That's interesting. So it enables driving. So the electric motor turns, however, it doesn't charge the battery. And I think the customer was saying that that is charging the battery and then it gets in discharge. So we can see here straight away the battery voltage is down, although we have ready coming on, and see in there. So when the ready is on, Normally the 12-volt system. See, the battery stays on, and it says battery charge fault detected. And the battery starts state of health 80%, 81, and it's quite unbalanced. But obviously we have just a bit left, and the problem is the error code. It doesn't say which
Interlock.
interlock. Read straight away. You know what? I haven't. This doesn't make sense. So it has an interlock error. The car drives. Obviously, it doesn't charge, but it doesn't charge also the 12-volt system. But why drives? Why enables driving with an interlock code? Because it's not safe if you think about it. Normally, an interlock says a high voltage cable is disconnected. Why does it enable energy to flow out of the battery? Let's plug in the dealer tool, try to understand better. Hopefully it will take us directly. I mean, just an interlock will it be such a simple repair?
Maybe.
Just a connector?
The motor may be configuration only.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be softer. Although, to configure the motor, you're gonna need code, which is on the, which only way to get the code from the motor is to have it off. Yes. But it's intermittent and that's secondary. Let's see what exactly we're gonna get with the interlock. Well, will it be something simple like plug something in? I don't know. Let's see. So high voltage interlock loop circuit open, and it tells you where it could be on front electric power inverter, high voltage cables not connected properly. Sorry, or rear electric power inverter or auxiliary high voltage cables. So what basically this says could be anywhere.
We have to check all the cables.
So this interlock is like a loop circuit, and then connects all the high voltage connection. But the error, it says just that the loop is open. It doesn't say where. Could be in the front.
Could be the back.
Could be at the back. Yeah, heater, inverter, charger. So it could be anywhere. Now is the time. Lift the car up, see how much we can see from underneath.
Okay.
Start with the basics. Not even sure exactly if we suspect anything. Yeah, probably just have to pull them apart. We're not sure whether we're gonna end up taking any components. The cables, they're pretty accessible now.
Yeah, front side, but problem with the inverter cables.
That's gonna be a bit of a situation.
Here and the back side is under the seat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Interesting. We might have a broken wire. Will that be the case?
Yeah,
it could be. It could be. I think we're kind of done with the software for now. Now it's gone down to physical checks. There's nothing more that we can do with the software. So it gives us a bit more information, but it's pretty much same thing that we found with the other one. We're just waiting a confirmation whether the suffix of the code is going to point which components that interlock, because on other cars it does work this way, not on the Jaguar. Nevertheless, we have to start our detective work to see exactly where is the interlock not okay. Finish it then. We have more questions than answers. It's very strange what is happening. So we stripped here. We looked first of all for any physical damage. This is one of the cables. Nothing seems to be, but we've disconnected under the battery the high voltage cables. This is a weird one. We have ready coming on. It's very strange. Normally the ready mode, I mean, just for you to understand, the ready should not come on if any of the high voltage cable is on. So that's the theory. I mean, is it the ECU, the control unit of the battery, that is it's having false phantom code with the interlock, and in the same time is putting the ready on. Again, interlock error should not leave ready coming on. So on top of that, we have another problem. The state of charge Now, we had before 10 miles and it dropped to nothing. So that's also an issue, because it could be that state of charge going very low. Even after we're gonna cure our fault, we might not be able to charge the car on the charger, and that's gonna be another issue where we have to charge the battery separate. So this was also another thing that I didn't want a battery to run so low. And it's very strange why this charge. It was 10%. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of charge, but the car hasn't been driven and it's been discharged. So yeah, we're not certain at this stage of next steps. I don't know, the control unit for me seems unreliable on the error messages that is putting out, and the way that it still brings the radio on. We'll sleep on it and we'll see in the morning the next step, but it seems to be challenging, isn't it? To say the very least. Yeah. That's where we're gonna stop it today, and tomorrow is another day. Hopefully it's more fresh ideas.
Yes.
Yeah. So another day, we spend a bit of time trying to make a plan going forward, and possibility is that we're gonna have probably a broken wire
The motor.
in the motor, but there's also, it could be a possibility there's something wrong with the control unit on the battery.
Battery control.
Now, apparently seems quite common for some wiring to break on the motor side, but for this error code, trying to understand, I found some bulletins that they might talking about broken wire that it caused similar error, but usually it comes with another one. So that's why it's a bit strange. What it also doesn't make sense why we have ready with an interlock fault. This it should not be the case. So is it the control unit playing wrongly, or is it a wire that is still gives a resistance? It's quite a strange one. So what our plan is, I think we will end up to take the motor down anyway, because we have the other error with the sensor. Position sensor. And then if we are to do a software update, we're gonna need the number, the serial number of the motor. There's no way to get that, because you have to take the motor apart and then you have to take the installation apart to see that number, which is a bit of a silly thing. But I think even if we solve the interlock, we're still gonna be left with another error.
Motor.
But let's take one step at a time, because we had the other Jaguar, which the battery control unit was faulty. So let's take the box at the back. We'll take the unit out, the battery control unit. We're gonna physically check it, see if there's any damage to it. If there's any damage, we're gonna start with that, and then, because that's easier. Obviously, if we don't see anything, we're gonna go down the route of taking the motor off. Yeah. Junction box has been removed to reveal the battery control unit, which Lal has already removed and is ready to take it out. And then we're gonna have it on a bench to take the cover off and see if any visible damage on the board. The good thing with those, last time we managed to replace it with a used part, so that really helped to keep the cost down. Nothing here. And nothing here. Remember, it was on this side somewhere, on the other control unit. Yeah, so the battery control unit at a first look seems alright. No signs of physical damage as we've seen previously. So I think once we're not fully eliminated that there's not an issue in here, but we want to check it physically before we go down the route. And obviously, main thing is the interlock code. but then is also the motor code that we need to get in order to clear the other error. So is there anything that comes to you? No. Then I think we are going to take the front motor assembly. This is going to be quite a comprehensive job. We have everything detached, so the engine assembly, the front motor assembly is detached together with the subframe, the suspension, and if everything is good, we're gonna have it apart from the body. All good, Harry? Yeah. Lal?
Yeah.
Yeah? Let me do the honors. Yeah. I like this. Yeah. Carry on, yeah? So this is electric motor assembly with transmission, onboard charger, inverter for the Jaguar I-PACE. We have it down, but there's still investigation work to be done. Where do we start now? Having a quick look, we don't really see anything obvious, the wiring, but at this stage we're gonna start stripping more to have everything revealed, to have a better view. So that's the time for more stripping. We have been separated the assembly. So far, we have removed the onboard charger, which comes on separate. And now we are at the stage where we're gonna have the inverter and DC-DC converter to be removed now. So there are a few things that we wanna do afterwards. First of all, but a bit unrelated with our issue, is to get the code from the serial number from the motor that we're gonna need to program, update the EPIC, the front electric motor, and we need that serial number. But then we need to check for the interlock issues. There are a few connectors that we are interested to check. I mean, so far, you know, those little bits are the interlock circuits. We've done a measurement here. It seems to be all right. We want to check the other end. However, our suspicion is that it's going to be the connection from the battery to those connectors. Obviously, because we have everything off, we need to check this bit of wiring that is well known to break. So we want to make sure the wiring are in good condition, and then just have a look on the all wiring overall here. Make sure there's no breakages. Hopefully, we are looking to find the broken wire, but if not, we might even end up taking the high voltage battery. But first of all, we need the serial number from the motor, and we're going to inspect all the wires, this section that we could only check if we take the inverter out. So are you ready? Because this is going to be a heavy thing. So how's the plan?
Just
Tristan, let's see how we're going to do that. Very heavy thing. With this assembly out of the way, we want to focus in here. Does it look like this been replaced? Hmm? Anyway, we need to take the cover off. This is a very important sensor for the electric motor operation. So it reads the position of the motor, and obviously that's how the control unit needs. Is very important for the control unit in order to operate the motor. So we don't have an error with the sensor, but we have an error with the calibration of it. So obviously that's why we are going to remove now the cover. But we still see in here it looks a bit thicker. I'm just wondering whether they've done any repair. See, because in here it looks so much. Yeah. So we're gonna cut the isolation. Let's do that and check it until we take this cover off. So this mounting is off. Have a look, it has 3 tiny bushes and 2 of them are quite bad. It's actually sliding out. The middle one good, but this is also slightly worn out. Put this apart. The code, if I will remember, is going to be on the other side. Is it? No, the code. Ah, here. So here is the number that is so important, which we're going to need to program. So here is a ratio. So those are very important in order to program the sensor. So once we got a picture out of it, what else we want to do here? Can you take the actuator off? And then we want to see how it looks inside. As if everything looks good here, inside the transmission should be all dry, no signs of moisture. Hold on. And another good sign, everything looks very good here. So no traces of water ingress, perfect. We just need to clean and put it back. The seal looks very good, so that's perfect. This is also good news. Now we found those things, we still haven't found our problem. The wiring that we checked here is fine. The electric motor is now back in place. Well, not really on the car, but on the frame. And we have to do more checks since no issue was found in there. And what it is, we are going to drop the high voltage battery and take it to the other workshop where we're gonna do more checks. Stay close to see exactly what it's all about, because it's getting interesting. Harry, are we ready to drop? So Harry's prepared. Yeah, lift up the table. So Harry's prepared all the wiring. So obviously we have no more cooling. It's just about to detach the battery and put it out on the table. And from here we're going to transport it into the other workshop to show you what test we are going to do. That's good. So which one are left? All of them. Right, so before we are moving to the next step on having the cover off the battery, got together some documentation, quite a bit of it. And let me show you some interesting fact. What we're going to show you now is going to be quite interesting. So this is Harry.
I'm back.
Come in. That's good. So we are just talking about the Interlock system because we've done a bit of research, but some of the work we're going to do right now as we film. Obviously, we cannot always film everything as we do it, but let me show you where we get so far. So, Abby, if you can come close to here. So this is our circuit. Now, this diagram shows us our interlock. Now, there is one here, which is the one at the back of the car. This one over here. Yeah, that's one over there. But we are focusing on the other circuit. So I can see there's a line here, which says line out and line in into the high voltage battery. What this means? So there's a circuit that starts from the battery control unit that comes in the front, goes through the high voltage connectors, then goes throughout all individual connectors, and then it returns back. A bit of an interesting thing, because as I said, you cannot really see exactly which connector triggers the interlock. Now, obviously, before we start stripping, I've kind of looked at some bulletins, some documentation, and there was a bit of documentation about a section of the wiring that we already checked, and there was nothing in there. Therefore, we've got to this stage where we want to, because we also found some information about wiring inside the battery and some resistance. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna take the cover off. Under the cover are the modules from the high voltage battery. We're not gonna get to work on them. Can we have them on the side? So because we were at the stage of having the motor off, we thought it's not gonna be much more to take the battery off if we take it apart. Yeah. We also noticed an interesting thing, and I think it's good that we've take the cover off, because the seal is not that great in many locations. To be honest, we stripped a couple of other I-PACE batteries. You see, those are corrosion, and if we look on this other side, there are signs of seals failure, and this, what it does, allow moisture to get into the battery. So I think we got to the right stage. Have a look in here also. So it's clear that the seal line is not there anymore in this side also. So obviously we're also going to seal this, but this is secondary. Our main problem is to find this interlock circuit. And what are we going to do now? We are trying to replicate the operation mode. And if we can move this forward, so the high voltage is underneath, we can have a glimpse. Is obviously they're all connected with the bus bars and isolated. So that's how high voltage battery looks like on the Jaguar. So our, how many modules are?
30.
36. 36. And what's this individual? I have no idea. We can find them. There's so many batteries I don't recall. But that's how it looks underneath. And our problem is not here. So we're going to leave this down. Those are quite isolated. And also the service connector is off. We're not going to uncover this because we want to look at a different circuit altogether. So we want to connect the high voltage cables, and then as we have the diagram, we're going to do a resistance check for the circuit in the high voltage battery. We want to see whether there's any breakages, because it could also be the circuit of interlock here inside the battery from those two tiny pins. I mean, I can see now there is, so the small tiny pins over there, those are the part of an interlock. So each plug on a high voltage is going to have one of those, and they are like, together they form a circle. Any of them broken and interrupted, we're going to have an interlock issue, and this is what we have. Can we come forward? Yeah, I think it's, yeah, it's the right to the, yeah, more. Okay, more, that's fine. Now, because we already know the diagram, I would like to do a nice test that will show us. So can we connect to the pins that we know? So basically, we're going to do a resistance check, but in the same time also load test, because sometimes the resistance check with the multimeter is going to give false information. So we're going to give a resistance, but whenever load is applied, it's not going to last. So it's just an imperfect connection. So we have identified the pins which, when we'll have those connectors, they're going to have a loop in here. So can we put the battery? Yeah. So connect, after we put the bulb, we connect those to check. And then, according to what we found, so I say part of it we already done, so we know what to expect, but we also want to show you. No, I want to load test directly. So we're just using a small bulb. And then this is part of the circuit. Just connect it, and then I want you to connect one by one the connectors at the back. So if you hold it there, I'll do the hardest task. Hold the valve, and then I'll talk you.
Can I connect?
Yes, please. So when both of them are connected, if the circuit is fine, this bulb it should light up. Harry, don't play. So with this exercise, we proved that inside the battery so far all looks good. We still not fully eliminated this bit over here, which is the control unit. So this assess all the data received from the different components and then make the system operate. And it could well be that the control unit receives good signal actually about the interlock, but it triggers an error. It might be. We have not came across to a situation like this yet, but it could always happen. Now, since we've done this exercise, at this stage, we can pull the battery, disconnect the battery, and move to our second loop. Because second loop is going to have all the other control units over here, which are located on the on the front motor assembly. So that includes the electric heater. By the way, we dropped the electric heater from the car, so we have it here connected. Sorry, sir. Electric heater, the inverter, the AC compressor, and this onboard charger. So the test that we are going to do now is a section. Actually, we changed a little bit. So it's a section of the interlock circuit, which is going to include the air compressor and the DC to DC. And the mighty light does not come on. The simple bulb test, we do it with the bulb because it's more representative rather than just resistance. So this circuit, it doesn't look okay. Okay, yeah, probably the plug. Now we're going to move to the tester, to the test from the connector to the air compressor.
35 to 7.
Yeah, 7. Okay, so what we know here, we know our problem, it seems to be from the DC-DC converter to the air conditioning circuit. So which is going to be pin?
Next, 6 to 4.
6 to 4. So 6 to 4, obviously you have to take this one out from here.
Connect 6
to 4. Now, here is the section that it should have light up the bulb, and for some reason it doesn't. So what this tells us, somewhere along the line, and this wiring section is not too long, is broken. It's very strange, there's no damage to the isolation. Makes no sense, but somewhere we believe there's a broken wire, just from this small section of wire.
We can remove the isolation.
Let's do that. So we have to start stripping the isolation for the wiring. So it's going to be just this small section. Now, what do you reckon we're going to have a broken wire?
Better to go this way because
Why is that?
here is very less chance to bend something. Because this side somebody is working on the compressor, maybe.
Yeah, man, but look at the wiring, man. It looks good.
All tagged properly.
So you put your money on this section.
Yeah.
Let's go. It's anyway a very short section of wiring. So if there's nothing in there, it has to be on the other way. Hopefully we done the correct installation measurement, yeah? Hopefully the diagram was good.
This one section.
Okay, so where does this go? Okay, so this, yeah. So now we have a small section, but it's interesting, man. Come on, I'm gonna find something. Maybe it's the other section, man. Huh? It's very strange either way. And you don't see anything because sometimes we will see corrosion through the insulation.
Look like good.
Yeah, very good. I see now. No way! No way, man!
It look like somebody cut directly.
No way!
Now see, this wire also starts to cut.
But why, man?
Maybe it's accident before.
Yeah, man, I couldn't see anything on it. No way.
White also start to cut.
Huh?
It seemed like somebody cut.
So, the bulletin that I found, it does complain about the front wiring, but come on, man. How? Yeah, I get it. So the other section of wiring that goes with the sensor, why does it go? Vibrates. Which one is underneath, no?
Sensor is from the underside.
Yeah, the one that it goes. Oh no, this one.
It's good.
By the way, we might have another job coming in. But this, I don't get it, man. And look, there's another.
This also start to cut.
Look at it. There's a small crack on the other one. So the Jaguar was not running because of a broken wire, which, as we said from the beginning, it could be in the front, it could be at the back of the vehicle.
It's like leaf front.
Yeah. But anyway, it was no way to get to this wiring without taking the front assembly off. We obviously check the other wiring for the sensor. We've done a few checks in here, which is good. We still have to put a mounting here. The one that has the bushes faulty, I think we already have now. What are we gonna do with this? Just fix it.
Yeah, repair this.
But what's the reason, man? I mean, I don't think it's vibration.
Maybe due to the accident.
Big question mark.
Frontal accident.
Big question mark. Anyway, this is the reason for which the I-PACE was triggering an intermittent, but yeah, was triggering an error code, but was still driving. Makes zero sense, because normally this interlock being open, the vehicle should not drive. So this is, or do you reckon, I'm telling you what I believe. Sometimes it was giving a resistance.
Yeah, maybe it's touching. Start driving.
That's why. Wow. Huh? Okay, so what we're gonna do now, at least is good that we found something. The plan, it was if we not find something here, go and check the wiring on the vehicle side. So whenever we putting everything back, we do have the problem found and solved. And I think it is the case. We found it. We just have to solve it. This diagram very useful, because otherwise it would be much more difficult. What we have to do also, and you know what, I got a feeling.
Reseal?
Yeah, no, reseal, yeah, but I think it's gonna come to a stage of a module to be replaced. But because this car had charging issue for a long time, we have to obviously seal the battery, put it back, and run some tests to see exactly, because it was out of balance. These are very common for this issue, out of balance, triggering cell errors. And there's also a trick with a cell error. But I'm not sure whether it's going to do the trick here, because there's a software that has to be done. In here, we know there was issue with the charging of the battery. Definitely, I wouldn't jump on replacing anything until we have a fully charged and a good assessment of the battery, see if the error comes, how well balanced the battery is. But I think we can reseal the battery, do the wiring repair, install the mounting, and we should have an operational Jaguar.
The compressor also, the AC gas is not there before.
Was it?
Yeah. Before we check, there is no AC gas in the vehicle.
That's not good, is it?
Because
That's not good because the cooling was not good. Which one is the pipe that breaks? This one, isn't it? Yeah. Since the pipe is not broken, we can do a bracket for it. So we don't know, you see, maybe had a front end damage and they never regassed it. It's so interesting because the cooling is so important, and probably many they refer to the cooling to the air conditioning, for instance, as only for comfort, but it's not that. On those electric cars, hybrid, air conditioning is so important. because it cools down all those other elements. So very, very important. I don't know. Again, we don't have history. We'll also have to do the regas. Normally, this pipe is very common to break vibration. But what we're going to do for it, we're going to do a bracket. Make sure it's held in place properly because there's a lot of vibration.
Repair the wiring.
Yeah, repair the wiring.
Reseal the battery.
Reseal the battery and get all back into place, man. Still shocked, man. And you see, but that's the way it works. It just says interlock, and then yeah, you have to go and do some checks. Anyway, we do have a conclusion, so let's start doing the repairs and putting everything back. Yeah. Did you like it so far? If you did, make sure now is a good time to hit the subscribe button and notification because every week we have jobs like this interesting with a lot of technical information for you to understand better this technology of electric and hybrid cars. So while we're preparing the battery to come back on the car and with the electric motor, let me give you a glimpse under the car and how it looks. So say this is the floor of the car without the battery on. So no chassis legs you are used to on the normal cars. The structure is slightly different. In here we have the rear electric motor, and the inverter is on the top side of the electric motor. And if you come in the front, just want to show you something interesting. So when the front assembly motor is on, you cannot really do much here. The clearance is so small. And look at an interesting fact. So even this pipe that is round here is not right here. So imagine how tight all the clearance is. So they've done this pipe in a different shape. So it's not round, it's slightly straight. So minimize the space. So if it was round, it should get more space. So they made it differently only to gain a bit of space. So very, very tight clearance when everything is in place. Luckily, we're gonna fix all our problems with the assembly down. And we just have to see whether we'll have to take our battery off again. But for now, we're sealing the battery and bringing it back to the car. So Harry has installed all the assembly back,
Yes.
and hopefully we'll get the battery to charge now.
Yeah.
Now, we've scanned, we expected to have lots of error codes. We've cleared. We're just gonna run another scan, make sure we don't have anything. We might still have something, some error codes because we still have, what we have disconnected, Harry?
Airbag.
The airbag sensor, which is fine. Because what I want to make sure we have no error codes in the high voltage system. And then if that's the case, we will try the charger and hopefully we're gonna get a charging light, not a red. I don't like red. So let's see. Do expect to have some error codes. Yeah, the powertrain and the restraint. Cooling fan. Stuck in park. Okay, we have to see what that is. Impact sensor. Good. So we just cleared the error codes early on, so kind of expected not to have any. And in here in the high voltage system, the charger control unit, no error codes, which is perfect. Okay. So far looks good. Yes, and no error codes on the system. State of charge went down to 0. So state of charge of the battery went down to 0. Although if we look in a cell level, we are on 3.4, which is a very, very still a safety net. They can go well below that. You know what? I want to flash the I want to reflash the control unit.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's put the we'll put the dealer tool on.
Okay.
I want to reflash the battery. Maybe it's gonna reset.
Yeah.
Let's try the software first,
Okay.
and then we'll see whether we have to take the battery off again. Now is Monday morning. Not now when you see the video. Now when we're filming this, we had the car on charge over the weekend. It's fully charged, so Harry finished all the front end. We are getting ready to get the car out. But before we do so, what's the range? Is it fully charged, the battery?
Yeah, 100.
Can you see?
Yeah.
What does it show? 246.
Yeah.
I know those Jaguars, they do around 280, so 250, 280. Obviously, range according to the drive. We have cleared all the error codes. We are still left with a few. Let's see what we have. Okay, invalid serial data. So see, the picture says this is the EDU revolver calibration offset angle. This is the offset angle. So what it was in our case, 171. 171.25. Correct, yeah? So we have rescan now, the error has cleared, and now we only left with the telematics, and so we are ready to go in a road test with it. That's fine. So we can disconnect. Let's have the Jaguar out for the first time in quite a few days, isn't it? So let's disconnect from here. Having everything done, and also one main thing, I'm not sure if we discussed enough on this. This Jaguar has two tanks. Both of the circuits are now bled and ready. Now in here is also the brake fluid, but this is the coolant and this is the second one. And Harry, what do they do?
Which one?
The cooling tanks, cooling circuits.
This is for the motor and that is for the battery. And the battery need extra cooling, so it has a chiller.
Separate circuit.
Yeah.
And it has heat exchanging.
Yeah, heat exchanger.
Where does the heating runs off? Of which circuit? The heating inside the cabin.
Cabin on the motor.
So very important. On the I-PACE, if there's no heating, this will be the tank to check. This will be solely for the high voltage battery circuit. Both of them are bled, and we have the Jaguar ready to go out.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Yes,
that'll be
please.
something.
No, you need to press hard. Yes.
Okay, so if Harry will let me out. What's nice on electric cars, they warm up so quick comparing to combustion engines because the electric heaters. We already have the Jaguar back in. So basically what happens in between, we had a full battery. So we managed to charge it to 100% after we done the software update. So initially when it started, if you remember, it was an error code which was preventing the battery from charging 100%, which is very, very common on the Jaguar. And this was our concern, whether we have an unbalanced battery, which is gonna trigger the error again. So far, I don't see an error, but we're gonna scan the car. So we've covered so far around 200 miles, just over it, and it drove fine. We put it in because we want to check everything. We don't want to do another quick over, and there are still some other codes, some other error codes that we want to address. Let's get inside the car to see what it's all about. So with the ignition on, so far we have 17 miles left of the battery. Pedestrian protection is one of them. SOS limited functionality. Should be something emergency braking and lane assist unavailable. Now we have found some of them. What error codes do we have, Harry?
Improper shutdown, just related, and we have open circuit related to front impact sensor.
Yeah. So in the front bumper, we know already there's a problem on the wiring, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's show exactly what it is. Also, Harry, do you have communication with the telematics? He's showing not response from it now. It could be a number of reasons, but something is very common on the telematics, and we're going to touch base on that because this error code, which is, where is it? Hold on. Come on. The SOS limited functionality is a very common problem on JLR vehicle, Jaguar and Land Rover, due to the backup battery. And we're going to get that in a second, But before that, want to see exactly the damage in the front wiring.
Yeah.
Is it easy to access? Can we have a torch here? So what is happening here, we've been told by the customer, front end damage has damaged the coupler from the wiring side. So therefore we have no communication with the radar, with the parking sensor, and also pedestrian protection sensor. Will they be connected to the bumper wiring?
Maybe the radar.
Yeah, the radar, yeah, but pedestrian protection, no impact sensor. Anyway, we need to check that. So we know there is an issue on the front bumper, but for now, we want to address the telematics problem. And let's see, because this is something very common, seen in many times. So that SOS functionality error is usually caused by the telematics control unit backup battery. What is the telematics control unit? Telematics is used in modern vehicles and is basically the factory tracker of the vehicle. And this particular car, it is located in here. We have some antennas, and inside we're gonna have a backup battery. And what are we going to do now? We're gonna take the unit off. Do you have the tools here, Harry?
Yeah.
We're gonna take the unit off. Manage. So this is the unit, and inside the unit is a backup battery. Why is this? How in case the car battery gets disconnected, this unit will still emit data about the location of the car. And what it happens over the time, torques. So over the time, obviously, like any battery, degrades and does not hold charge. And it happens mainly if the battery gets disconnected, the 12-volt battery gets disconnected, this rapidly loses charge, and then it won't charge anymore. We didn't have this error message before, didn't we?
No.
I don't recall. Anyway, let's take the battery out. Can you take this cover off?
Yeah.
So in here, we should access the battery. So simple as that. Look at that. Is this the 2170 battery? Looks like the Tesla battery. So this is the battery, how it looks like. And I think it should measure, if I'm not mistaken. Can you measure it? If I'll hold it. Oh? Really? Is that? Okay, so it looks like we're gonna need a battery. All of a sudden, we have a battery because we knew already we keep those in stock. Very common. And sometimes those can also be charged. Let's see what's the, can you measure this for us? Perfect, 3.5 volts. So this battery is completely down. So if we install this battery straight away, if the control unit has not gone, which hopefully it should not gone down, we should get rid of the error message related with the SOS, and then we're still left with the bumper. We might also need to calibrate the radar, but it's going to be separate after we establish first communication with the control unit. But let's take it one step at a time. Recharge is fine. We don't want the SOS there. Perfect. So it looks like we've done, and now we want to see whether we communicate with the control unit because we weren't able to communicate before. Select the, okay, so it likes to have DOIP, that's why it doesn't communicate with it. Anyway, we'll be scanning with the dealer tool, but straight away after the replacement of the backup battery, The error message has not returned. Let's try one more time. Pedestrian. Recharge. So it shouldn't be any SOS. Perfect. So that's all good. So the reason that we don't communicate with it, it needs to see the DOIP protocol.
Okay.
That's why it doesn't communicate. That's why it doesn't see some of the controls. So the backup battery has done the trick on the telematics. We are okay to install the back of the car and then have to do the bumper
Wiring.
Yeah, but so far anyway, our first part of the job, the high voltage system, is fine. Battery looks good. Hold on, let's look at something, the balance, because this is very important. Remember, this battery had error for imbalance, and if you were to go by the error, it might need the module. But that's why I say we want to follow a few cycles. Look at that. That's not bad at all. 10 millivolts on a 10% state of charge. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. I was expecting to be more than that. It can vary. But anyway, this is good. This is just the first cycle. And we haven't replaced any modules. So fingers crossed it's going to stay like that.
Yeah.
Now we're going to install everything in the boot. We just have to do the wiring in the front. Probably going to do another cycle of charging the battery using it. If that's good, don't think we have to take the battery off anymore. So
Yeah.
let's put everything back in the boot and then do the wiring. This was the component that has fixed the SOS, very common, the backup battery for the telematics control unit. Yeah?
Yes.
Good. Let's see how we're going to fix the rest. So we've done a bit more work on Jaguar. We had the bumper off to check the wiring because the radar sensor has no communication with the diagnostic tool. It was concluded the bumper has been replaced previously due to an accident and the radar sensor is incorrect for the vehicle. Also no communication with the cameras. So this car, it has a 360 degrees camera system unoperational. It looks like there's an internal fault with the control unit. So for this part, it's going to need more investigation. But what we want to focus now is the high voltage battery, see what the condition is. So at this stage, we've done another road test. Now we have the battery fully charged. So we should get a good understanding how the battery looks like in a drive test. And then we're going to make a plan whether the car is ready to go to its owner. Let's get in a drive test. The Jaguar is fully charged, so it has 99% and shows a range of 260 miles. Before, because he had the error code with the battery not being balanced, the car was not able to charge more than 75%, the common issue on the Jaguar. Now, let's set off in a drive test, but before that, we want to rescan the car, and it's something interesting that does not make sense, and we have to check more. And that's the error code we are having in the electric power inverter B. This basically is the rear inverter that has an error code related with the motor A position sensor. Now, if you remember, we've calibrated this and it looked like the C is intermittent. The error went away, but here it came back. So we need to we need to recheck that. So let me see. It says intermittent, but it doesn't go away. So we might need to reflash this control unit. But first of all, let's get in a drive test and check those stats because we're quite interested to see how the battery is doing. But so far, it looks okay. So it might not be the case where we have to take the battery off again for a module replacement. So it's good that we also seal the battery. The balance is quite good. State of health show 88%. So let's drive the Jaguar. I've driven quite a few Jaguar I-PACE, and to be honest, for how they drive, I think they're a lot of the car for the money, because those cars, when they were new, they were very expensive. Now, with all the electric cars coming down on the price, I think you get a lot of value for what it is, for the way it drives and the handling and comfort, everything. For this test drive, we're probably gonna do about 25-30 miles. But overall is running good. The battery balance seems to be all right. I was just debating earlier with Abby about the noise. Where is that setting, Abby? The setting on the, and it makes quite a significant difference on the active sound design when you put it on dynamic. But I'm not sure if it's gonna, if the mic can pick this or not, but it really sounds like exhaust noise. The only difference is this Jaguar, it doesn't roar. It more like meow than roar. But anyway, it drives fine. So what is left, we're gonna put it back in the workshop once quick over, and I really want to see what's the situation with this error code that keeps on coming back in the, and it's interesting because the way that on a diagnostic says an error code in the rear electric motor inverter related to the front one makes a bit no sense. Anyway, we're gonna put it back into to check that, try to clear that. It would have been nice to also fix the adaptive cruise control, but we're definitely gonna have one coming in the next video to show you how the radar gets calibrated. Also the camera, so there's a bit more to be done on this car. The main thing is that we've done the charging. The car seems to run okay, well, at least so far. We've done, I think, about 3 cycles, not from zero, but a couple from close to zero, charging the battery, and has not triggered a balance error that will prevent the battery from charging. So we just have to see how it's going to evolve over time. If the car will come back, obviously we'll have it videoed again. But so far it looks good. So we're heading back to the workshop, put it once again, do another check with diagnostic, and we are getting close handing over the car to the customer. So let's get back to the shop. We are now at the stage of the final checks, which Harry has done. Are you happy with it?
Yeah, everything is okay.
Everything okay underneath, nice and dry. And regarding the software and error codes, now we quite clear. So we are only left with the cruise control error and the parking sensor control unit. We know there is an issue with the parking sensor control unit. We know there is a sensor with the radar sensor, which is behind the badge. So that might be a second job. If the car comes back, we're gonna do another video because it's gonna be interesting after we fix the connection, the communication, the calibration of that. But as it stands with our error code that was still present related with the inverter motor, we've done a software update. We've recalibrated the position sensor. The error has cleared, has not returned. So we are all good in that respect. So the Jaguar, obviously leaving aside the other error codes, is ready to go to its customer. So enough of this. Let's get now to the board and the figures, because probably you're curious. What was the cost of our repair on this Jaguar? Well, initially we started with running a diagnostic test where we concluded we have to break the car.
No, it's the motor.
We break it in pieces. I mean, when it's on the workshop, it was
like this.
It was broken in pieces. Yeah, so we break it in pieces, and then we put it together. So initially we've run some tests. We concluded we need to strip to get deep to the wiring that is not accessible with the motor on the front. Then we thought, let's take also the battery out. So initial test, we charge 120 plus the VAT. Then we agreed to put a cap on the work that we do. So involve a lot more than initially planned for, because obviously we we stripped the car. But before we also run some software updates. Also afterwards we've done some updates on the car. We didn't mention all of them, but to fix the problem we have stripped the front assembly, strip all the wiring, but then we also sealed the battery. When everything was ready we put everything back, but then we programmed the motor sensor, do the check for the cruise control, so quite other things, and the parking sensor connector that was broken. So for all this we've charged 2,400 plus the VAT. Yeah, on top we're gonna have some other things like oil and coolant. How much coolant did the car took?
I think I put more than 15 liters.
More than 15 liters. So it has a huge coolant system, and it's just a car, it's not a lorry. 15 liters because it has a long battery and the cooling system spreads all over to keep that battery cool. So in here it's going to add some more cost, but to fix the car we only need some insulation tape and to fix that wiring, which is all good now. So as a figure we can put this to 2,520. Now it might seem a lot for a broken wire, but it was a lot of work, and not just we fixed the car, we also done other checks to make sure that the car is going to be all right going forward, seal the battery and so on. And put it in perspective, we've seen or heard type of estimates getting to the front motor running in thousands of pounds, close to 10,000, replacing it. But we always try to keep the cost as low as possible, make a feasible repair, reliable repair that is going to last. And this was the case also in this situation. Now, if you liked our repair, me and Harry, and our team here, don't forget to subscribe. Where, Harry?
Yeah.
Below.
Below. Yeah.
Below. Below. And then click the notification button, because every week we're going to have interesting repairs translated in videos from our workshop here. I will see you with the next one. Take care.
Bye.